Hey guys, welcome to When Spirit Talks, the podcast that explores the realm of spirituality. Now, this episode is going to be a bit different because I've decided to do a spread, a release, a reflection on 2025 and all of the things it brought us and taught us. And the reason I'm doing this is because I've already had a similar episode planned for January of 2026 about the energy of 2026, the lesson we will collectively learn, and how to best move forward for our future in 2026. But as I was uploading that, I thought, I really think we also need to do the same for 2025 to reflect and release the things that we need to before we move on to 2026. And I thought this was the best idea to do that. So as we near the end of the year, it's the perfect time to kind of pause, look back, and honor what the year has brought us. This includes the challenges, the lessons, the gifts we got, the growth we've had. If you have your own deck and you want to do this as we go, feel free to pull your own cards, as I am also pulling the cards for each prompt that I've created for this year. And now we're focusing on 5 different areas for 2025. So these include the energy of the year. So thinking about 2025, the overall energy of the year, looking back, the gifts that it brought us. Right now, I don't even want to get into the lessons that we had to deal with in 2025 because it's all about moving forward at this point, and we'll get those lessons for 2026 in the next episode. So for now, I want to focus on the gifts that we were given for 2025, what we are collectively ready to release, how to integrate that, and then guidance as we transition into 2026. Because like I said, 2026 has its own energy, and you'll listen to that soon. So let's start by pulling the card to represent the energy of 2025. Now that we've gone through it, and now that we've accomplished, met our goals, didn't meet our goals, dealt with struggles, dealt with amazing things happening, let's look at the central energy of 2025. So this is what has come up. The energy of 2025 that we're ready to move on from is this. It is the 6 of Swords. And so the energy of 2025 looking back is all about moving forward, moving to new, calmer waters, noticing what wasn't working, and it was kind of like a cycle of growth. So we had a lot of baggage to release, and we had a lot of things that we might have identified as not being good for us anymore. We might have noticed patterns within ourselves or patterns within others that are around us, but in the people that influence us. And it's almost like we learned that there are some things that we need to move on from. There are some things that we don't need to sit in anymore. So 2025 is telling us that it was a big theme of identifying, understanding, and finally moving away from thoughts, patterns, communication styles, energies that are too much for us, are too rocky for us, are not smooth enough, are not calm enough. So you might have found as you moved through the year that you were seeking more calmness, you were seeking more peace. And that could have been in your own personal body, in your own personal life, in your work environment, in your relationships. It might have been a year where you either planned to move locations, where you got a new job, or where you left a relationship that wasn't right for you. But 2025 was all about understanding and becoming aware of the things that weren't good for you anymore, and finally starting to take steps to move forward. The next thing I want to talk about is the gift that we were given. And sometimes, especially with that energy of 2025 that I just pulled, sometimes it's not that easy to see. Sometimes the blessing is hidden, sometimes it's overlooked. So this is what I want to tell you. This is a big gift that you got in 2025. And the gift that you got, that we all got collectively, is identifying who we are authentically as we are, being grounded, but also leaning into our intuition. So if you are someone who is very intuitive, you might have had experiences and lessons that caused you to be more grounded, and vice versa. If you are someone who is very practical and grounded, you might have opened up your eyes to new intuitive ways of doing or thinking about things. This card is the Star, okay? So the gift that you might have overlooked, maybe you didn't overlook it and you already know what I'm talking about, is identifying with the authentic you and letting yourself shine just as you are. Letting your faults be your faults and letting your gifts be your gifts. But you might have found it a bit easier to show up authentically as yourself, regardless of what other people are saying, regardless of people's expectations or even your own past expectations. This year might have been shaking things up for you, but in doing that, it allowed you to be more true to yourself. The next energy that I want to look into is, what do we still need to let go of before we head into 2026? So what do we need to release or let go of, at this point until you hit 2026? And I know there's probably only a few days left by the time this episode comes out. And so if you're moving already in 2026 as you're hearing this, set your intention to do this now as you're listening. And you can just say, I set my intention to release, and I'll tell you what's coming up. So this is what we have to release. We have to release resistance to waiting. Okay, I wanted to say it again. We have to release our resistance to waiting. We have to release impatience. We have to release the need, the craving, the want to get things now, because there is a lot of beauty and transformation that happens when we wait, when we're pausing, when things aren't working out the way that we wanted them to in the moment. That is the gold. And so to move best into 2026, you need to release that restriction and that need to control the outcome and to move things along and to get things when you want them. Sometimes we get things when we need them, and often we get things when we need them, but it's in the pause, it's in that waiting that you really, really need to remember again who you are. Use that gift, who you are authentically, knowing that you're following your purpose, keeping with that, okay? So it's time to release resistance to waiting. The next card or energy that I want to talk about is the energy from 2025 that you want to integrate and continue in 2026. So what energy of this year do you want to allow into 2026? Because maybe not everything you want to release, right? There are some gifts, there are some growth patterns. You want to carry those with you into the future, and this is what you want to integrate. We have the Six of Cups, and so we want to integrate the positive memories that helped you get where you are now, okay? I want you to reflect back as you are in 2026, or even now. Reflect back on the positive moments of 2025. Reflect on the goals that you achieved. Reflect on the things that worked themselves out in a really positive way. And I want you to think about yourself and your energy and your thoughts in the moments when that happened. The energy that you had when those things happened is what you need to continue integrating into 2026. Lastly, and finally, here is the energy that will help you transition into 2026 in a way that is grounded and supported and ready for what's in store for 2026. Because let me just tell you, I've already done that 2026 reading, and there's a lot in store for us. So this is the thing, and it's a big theme and it's a big lesson. We have the Empress. In order to enter the new year feeling grounded and supported and ready for what's in store, you need to make yourself the queen or the king of the day. You need to cherish yourself. You need to take care of yourself. So pick a day where you just take care of yourself. Do the things you love. Do a hobby, get out in nature, watch your favorite show, get a massage, schedule your Reiki session, whatever it is, do it, because you need to remember that you are abundance and you are the energy of nurturing, and you need to nurture yourself so that you can nurture your goals in 2026. So as you move forward, I want you to think about everything that came up and how it relates to you. And you can even take some time to journal as you're listening to this or after you listen to this. But it's important to reflect, reassess, and then again release what you don't want to carry into 2026. It's right around the corner. And if you want more personal insight into your specific year ahead, I have year ahead readings. You can purchase them at any time of the year, but basically you get an energy of your year as well as specific energies, advice, guidance, lessons, challenges for each month of that year. The beautiful thing about it is that I share which months might be your best and easiest months and which months might be a bit more challenging. And in those months, you're given tons of guidance on how to move through it based on the psychic and spiritual guidance I'm getting from my team and also your own. You can find the link to book the year ahead readings in my show notes. And just keep in mind the progress, the gifts that you have in 2025, and then use those to gently allow yourself to release what you don't want to bring. Here's to closing 2025 with greater awareness and intuition and stepping into 2026 with more aligned energy. You can visit my website at liveandbreathereiki.com or find me on Instagram and YouTube at I am Stephanie Ruth. Until next time, don't forget, when spirit talks, it's time to listen.